Could be live. We shall see if we are live.
See, waiting on my YouTube screen. I pause it so I can get the chat going.
As of right now, I think we have... Well, actually, no, I'm not getting an update just yet.
We're live.
I think now we're live. Okay. All right, so we got Rafi in the house. Rafi's got moderating duties tonight. He'll be taking care of business with the big wrench. Please do like the video on your way in for those just kind of getting in the live. I got Pete with me tonight holding down the podcast. Pete, thanks for being here tonight.
Oh, man, it'd be so much easier if I could charge my customers for my property tax.
I can't wait, bro. I can't wait. We got 15 in the live. Yeah, we're gonna get on your AT&T a little bit, Rafi. I'm going in. I'm gonna Pete, I'm taking the reins off of you too, man.
No, I'm still keeping it PG.
It's all about the fees tonight, guys. 32 in the live. Thank you guys for being
They're
here.
not even technically fees, but we'll get to that.
It's really bad, Pete. You know what? You operate a business, right?
Yep.
Do you. I've operated multiple businesses. I've worked with my dad in his business. Me and my brothers had our own business. We have experience in this. And there are certain things that are just, the scumbaggery at this point is they know no depths. It's like the lower and lower the basement gets, man.
I wish my basement went this low. I could have more storage.
What's up, Robert? Greg A is here. James Olson is here. I am the SMT. The SMT is in the house. What's up, Tito? Good to have you on, sir. Thanks for stopping by. What do we got here? Who else is here? Big Sean is here. Good evening to you, sir. Carlos is in the house. Devin is here. Thanks for stopping by. Mr. A.I.M. Right is here.
I think he uses AOL Instant Messenger.
I remember that back in the day, Pete. I had one.
I used to use it all the time.
Like this video, if you had an AIM messenger back in the day, if you had a screen name and you were in the chat rooms and chatting with your buddies. What's up, Brad? Good to have you on. Hey, Ronald, what's going on? Alan Dubbs in the house. Gregory is here. Jeremy is here. I'm on AT&T. Yeah, we're Jeremy. We're gonna go in a little bit, so
protect your credit card.
Yeah, guard your grill. Yeah, we'll talk about it, Tito. It's bad. I'm not surprised, honestly. I'm not gonna pretend like I am. Yep, we'll get to it. I hate them.
He needs that merger to go through so we can have more competition.
Matt Dub, what's going on? Hadika's in the house. Hadika's he's an AT&T customer, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, and he's helping me pick out anime to watch while working.
Hey, Tito, thank you for sharing the video on Twitter. Appreciate you tweeting that out there. What's up, Eddie? Nathan Dub, what's happening? Discord gang in the house. Discord gang 900. Hugo, what up?
Pronounce that name.
900 Hugo?
No, the one after him. The one in Hebrew.
I don't know. I don't know that one.
Yeah, I don't know either. Sorry, we don't read Hebrew.
Yeah, I don't. I wish I did, man. I could do some Spanish, I could do some French. I got the English thing on lockdown,
I got some German, got some Italian, got some Japanese. I can read Chinese, but only as Japanese. But,
Hometown Custom PC is in the house. Thomas Phillips, good to have you on. Osiris is here. Jihad is here. Yeah, guard your wallets. John,
hey, Carlos, don't use that term.
Thomas already dropped AT&T. He's moved on. Hide your kids, hide your wives, hide your husbands too. Yeah.
I want to put Carlos in timeout for a super chat. I don't like some of the language he used.
Uh-oh. Gotta keep it kosher here, guys. Why are all podcasts 720p? That's all YouTube lets people do. That's all they let people do.
Maverick, I can do some Latin.
Bruce, what's going on? Robert's got a little something to say there. Ruth is in the house. Carlos, thank you for the super chat. Got to keep it censored, please, Carlos. I like to give the people a voice here on the channel, but we don't want to be offending people unnecessarily, So I'd appreciate that if we just kind of keep things civil. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa, genke desu ka?
I know what a Ronin is. Ryan, what's going on? Horseback riding? Okay, cool. Cyrus, time to get prepaid.
That may not help.
Aloha Android says, I'm ready for this topic. Yeah, we're going in. Thomas is here. Craig is in the house. Lighting is good today. No ghost vibes. Okay. All right, Pete. Here we go. So here's the situation. All right, for those of you that maybe didn't catch the video upload recently, I'll just go through the rundown real quick. All right, so AT&T has a history of increasing fees. It's one thing to raise pricing on plans. It's another thing to raise fees. The thing about fees is what you are raising them for matters. So when customers are looking at the type of fee it is, they'll see, okay, well, this is a fee that I have to pay to better or to improve the network performance, or maybe it gives me increased access or something. Most of the time, that can be rationalized and justified. However, for the 62 in the live chat, thank you for being here. Do like this video on the way in. Please share this video. Do say hello to myself as well as Pete. We are here in the live. The thing about fees is if you raise fees unnecessarily with seemingly no true rational reason, you look like a scumbag. So AT&T, in my opinion, is looking really scummy right now, Pete. And here's the situation. The fee
they're still doing nights and weekends minutes.
The fee is called cost assessment charge. It shows up on the bills named that way.
So here's the thing about cost assessment charge. It can also appear on plans that promise no taxes and fees.
Right. Now, the thing about this charge, in 2017 going into 2018, the charge was 1.27% of your bill. Then they increased it in 2019 in January to 2.9%. So they essentially doubled it, more than doubled it in January. And then they increased it by 4% for October of 2019. So overall, in the last year, they have raised the fee, the same fee twice, from 1.27 to 2.9 to now 7%. People are getting the messages sent to them. I don't know if it's email or it's showing up on the bill already. 72 in the live. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Please like and share this video on your way in. You might be able to help some people. You might actually decrease the shock value in this for AT&T customers.
Wow.
So, Pete, customers that are being notified of this, AT&T Business, AT&T Internet, AT&T Phone, Uverse, all their TV services, anything AT&T is
what
being
about mobility?
What's that?
Is the landline included in mobility now?
It's not just mobility, Pete. This is everything AT&T.
Oh, man.
So this is, no F's given. Everybody's getting hit by it. So essentially what we have is a situation where people who are in contracts, whether it's TV, internet, home provisions, whatever, business, it doesn't matter. they're getting hit with this, and even though they're in a contract and they got locked into a certain pricing, it's changing on them in the middle of the contract.
Hey, it's part of the verbiage. They have lawyers that allow them to call it something else. And your contract can say your fees won't go up, your taxes won't go up, but if you name it something that's not a tax or a fee.
I mean, I know for a fact that if you look in the terms of service, if you look at the agreement that you clicked on or you agreed to, it's in there. These rates are subject to change based on assessment fees or whatever else they say. You know? What's up, Angel? Good to have you on. T-Mobile's not really, they're not built like this. Here's what T-Mobile does. T-Mobile will try their hardest to not raise any type of fees. And usually what they're doing now is they build it into the pricing so the customer pricing doesn't change.
The last text message I got from T-Mobile regarding my plan price changing was them saying the price was going down because they did something.
And I mean, you'll never find a day when AT&T does that. Jamil, thank you for the super chat, Jamil. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it greatly. Thank you for the kind and generous donation.
He's in Houston now?
Oh, Jamil's... Did you move? I thought Jamaal was like in Chicago or something. What's up, Stacy? Good to have you on. Okay, so anyways, Pete, here's why they increased the fee. Here's the bottom line. They are saying it's because of their property taxes. So, Pete, I own a store. Let's just make it a grocery store.
Isn't that salt?
Well, just check out this scenario. I got the perfect example. Listen to this.
Okay.
I operate a business. I have a grocery store and I sell produce. And somebody wants to buy apples. So I have like 1,000 apples piled up like a mountain. And
those are some good apples, by the way.
Right. Delicious apples. You can have one apple. You can buy 3. You can buy 30. You can buy whatever you want. You need bags for your apples, right? Don't you got to put them in a bag? Okay. So that's part
unless you have a hempen bag with you, which...
right? But it's as a business providing the bags so customers can put they got to put them in there and
customer has to hold them.
Yeah. So like, am I going to change the price of the apples per pound because I now need to give them bags? That's a business expense. Property tax is a non-negotiable. It's not new. Property tax has been going on for centuries.
Oh, yeah.
AT&T is essentially pushing a business expense, which they have to pay. It's their requirement. They have to. It's obligated. They're taking it and assessing it to their customers, saying it's a business cost. Like, you guys need to pay it because we don't want to. But it's an operational cost. It has nothing to do with the network. It has nothing to do with their services. It's AT&T locations where they have their headquarters, where they have their brick and mortar stores. Why? What does that have to do with the customers? I don't understand. How do you pull this off? How do you say to people, you're paying our property tax? Nobody else has a business that says, go pay my property tax. I
wish I could charge my customers my property taxes.
I can't believe it. Pete, as somebody who has operated a business, have you ever thought to yourself, how do I pull this off? How do I make them pay for my operational cost?
Often I've considered just building it into the cost per hour. Sometimes you get sometimes the year changes, cost goes up $250. But you're not saying, oh, because I have to pay taxes or my electricity rate's going up, I have to pay more. No, you increase your rates to a level that covers overhead and gets expected profit. If your rates don't cover overhead, you have to rethink what you're doing, which is why Sprint's hemorrhaging money. because on some of their plans, their rates aren't covering the overhead.
I just don't understand how AT&T continues to do these types of things. Like,
also, didn't AT&T make like $6 billion profit last year?
Pete, AT&T has a huge amount of debt. They're a huge business, right? Okay, so they acquired.
Well, profit is, margin above the interest left on the debt and the repayment plan.
Okay, so they owe like $100 and some odd billion. Okay,
yep.
I don't know. So let's say 150 billion.
Their for plan that DirecTV and Time Warner.
Well, that's the thing. The Time Warner acquisition was huge.
Oh
they spent like 100 billion on Time Warner. I had no idea it was worth so much. But the goal is to cut debt this year by 20 billion. So I don't think they were going to meet that. That's where I think this comes into play. Whatever they were getting from this fee as an increase is going directly towards that 20 billion in debt. So I think right now they're at like 12 or 14 billion of it actually paid off. So they still have like 6 to 7 billion left. I don't think they were going to get to it, so they raised this fee.
I still don't get how that works.
I just don't understand how somebody needs to operate a business to make money, and they're going to take regular. Everybody pays these freaking taxes, but you want to
these
put
taxes
onto your customers.
Again, if you operate a business, you go, okay, I'm expecting my property tax to be, I don't know, 30 grand this year. Break it down into the months. Then you go, okay, we need X amount more per sale or whatever. And you get there. You just don't go, oh, arbitrarily in the middle of the year, we're charging you property tax fees. People have pointed out that, yeah, they have been selling, charging property tax fees in the past at like 1.5%. But even then, they shouldn't be including a property tax fee.
So, Pete, I just want to take a second to introduce a guest that'll be on with us tonight. A friend of mine, a YouTube creator, a fellow creator, Ronaldo, otherwise known as Custom Unlock Droid. He's been a supporter and a friend of the channel for a while now, and he's joining us tonight. So, Pete, I guess a formal introduction with Ronaldo. Ronaldo, thanks for stopping by and being here tonight.
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me on, Sneak. Sure. Now, my webcam is it's not, for some odd reason, I don't know if it's the drivers or something, but it's not working. It hasn't been working for like the last 3 days now. I don't know. I think the webcam, I've had this webcam since I was 19. So, yeah.
What model webcam, and did you update your computer recently?
It's a Logitech, and I have a custom built PC. So
I don't know. I mean operating system.
I'm running Windows 10. I think it's just the camera, the wire. It might be a short or something might be going on, because when I plug it up, the computer doesn't recognize it. So, yeah,
that's okay. We're still glad to have him on.
You're a YouTube creator. Replace it. Use a tax deduction.
Oh yeah. I definitely was thinking about getting a new one within the last, probably like the next week, hopefully.
Snita and I use the same model. It's good. It's reliable. It's $40.
Yeah. And Ronaldo,
which one is
it? Go ahead and introduce yourself to the channel, to the SMT Nation. Tell them a little bit about what type of videos you make and some of the content that you've created over the last several months.
Basically, my channel is geared towards people who are not able to, let's just say you don't have the money to buy your $1,000 or $800 or close to about $700 flagship phone. Basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help people make the best decisions they can without spending a lot of money. I want people to get the best deals they possibly can. I also want to I'm in the process of working on more news. So I'm trying to get more people up to date with a lot of phones that we don't get our hands on, like the different companies out there like Oppo and Vivo and a couple other companies. But also my channel, my editing style is a little bit different in the beginning, like my intro, because I'm a movie buff. So I try to make the beginning of the video come off more cosmic. So, I mean, I'm just trying to gear for the people that really don't have the money and they can't afford, the $1,000 flagships that are coming out every 2 or 3 months, I'm more, hey, if you got $350 or $400 and, you have everything taken care of as far as bills, then, you can come to my channel and check out what phones that you might not have,
Yeah. And actually, you bring up a good point. I do some of that on my channel. I cover some hardware. I mean, we talk iPhones, we talk Galaxies, and we talk 5G phones. And these phones, they exceed $1,000. That's not realistic for the general population. I mean,
No.
To upgrade yourself on $1,000 phone every year is just unrealistic, and it doesn't make financial sense.
Another thing, Sneed, that I didn't mention is I'm really trying to get people away from buying from carriers. Like, I want people to buy a phone that is already paid off or either unlocked. I mean, my original goal was to try to get people to buy a lot of international unlocked phones, but nowadays it's kind of hard because you don't want to, say for instance, the Xiaomi Mi 9T or the Redmi K20 Pro. Those phones are international phones, but the bands are not really too great from what I'm hearing, but I could be wrong. I don't want people to go out and buy those phones and then they're mad at me like, oh man, you told me to check this phone out and now I'm not able to get 4G or 3G, period. So I'm really what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start doing more band research. That's why I've been watching your channel in the beginning, because I don't really know nothing about the bands. Like, I never really took the time to actually study them. Not just T-Mobile, but AT&T, Verizon, and, everybody else, that's something I really need to learn, because that could really benefit, because I could just say, hey, this phone, if you were to buy it, it would definitely work out for this particular carrier,
Yeah, I think a lot of people misunderstand. They hear people say like, oh, I have such and such phone. I ordered it on eBay. It's international model. And they're like, yeah, I get LTE. But here's the thing. You might have 2 of the 4 major LTE bands for a carrier. So what does that do when you travel and you can no longer connect just the band 2 and 4?
Exactly.
And T-Mobile has band 12 and T-Mobile has band 66. Your phone will never be fast on LTE.
No.
So, it's important. I mean, Pete, you could mention it. Nobody knows T-Mobile better than you. You've had them for years. You've seen T-Mobile fast. You've seen T-Mobile slow. You know how important that is.
It is. And sometimes even if it's a globally unlocked phone, oddly enough, the store model does a better job getting their speeds. I think it's because their middleware is optimized for their bands. But I'm okay with going a little slower for a little more coverage.
Let's see if we can get a link to your channel, Ronaldo.
Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
If not, I can make sure I do it before we kind of wrap things up tonight. So what I'll say about that whole thing is, part of the channel is about informing the general public. I think a lot of times people just don't understand all the angles to the devices they buy. Now, what I will say is, if they do buy the device from the carrier, the network LTE bands are going to be perfect. But if you are a savvy and informed consumer, you can get all of that compatibility on your own. You just got to know what you're buying.
Exactly. And I tend to also want people, because it happened to me, I want to say about 2.5 years ago, close to probably about 3 years now, me and my wife, we bought phones from T-Mobile, and we didn't buy the most expensive phones that was out at the time, but we bought ZTE Z-Max, and they weren't bad phones from the beginning, but we got a conflict where we thought we paid them off, and we tried to leave T-Mobile and we tried to go over to another company. Well, thing about it is the person that signed us up for the phones in the store, they didn't pretty much get they claimed they didn't get all of the payment or whatever. But long story short, the phone ended up getting a bad IMEI. and we really couldn't use the phones, So that right there let me know that, hey, next time I buy a phone, I'm just going to buy the phone straight out. I'm not going to sit there and be on a carrier plan, because at the end of the day, if you have a cell phone bill that is $70 and then you end up buying a phone and you want to be a part of their whole leasing program or whatever they call it, then that bumps your bill up. You got some people that don't know, like you'll go and get the newest, latest and greatest, let's just say you want the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Okay, cool. That's about $329 down at T-Mobile, but then you're also going to be paying about $32 on top of your bill.
But hold on a second, Ronaldo. They do finance the phone for free, but they lock you in for 2 years on installments.
I didn't know that.
It's a lease agreement.
So you're paying for the service. They'll let you finance the phone for free, but they've locked you in.
You can pay off early in certain states without a penalty, though.
Well, you can pay off early, but if you're going to receive some kind of a discount, say you trade in a phone, they pay you back on installments. They give you bill credits.
So my Samsung tablet through T-Mobile, their LTE tablet, which again gets slightly faster speeds than my Pixel 3, but slightly worse coverage. I was able to pay them half of it, and they're giving me the other half in bill credits. In those situations, it's fine. You just have to be like, yeah, I want to stay with them for a couple of years.
But you got some people that'll get into those, and then they might, anything can happen at any moment in life. We can lose a job, or we can lose a second income, and then you're looking at your cell phone bill and you're like, oh man,
I've been there.
Yeah, that's mainly what I was talking about. So it's like, you don't want to get in that. I try to get people to avoid that. But then again, you got a lot of people that they really don't care. They'll do it anyway.
But this is the problem, and this is why I have my channel. Too often are we having these conversations where it's like, oh, I don't care as long as my phone works. But
exactly,
there's going to come a point, Ronaldo, where somebody is going to be at a concert, somebody is going to be at a football game, and there's going to be so many people on a tower that the network is going to crash because you don't have connectivity to a certain band.
Exactly.
And if you had that band compatibility, you would have coverage.
Exactly.
So now the thing is, Band 46 and Band 48. Those are the next two big bands. And Band 66 is a big one now. Yeah. People don't even know of their existence. They're still talking about 2, 4, and 12. But there's more. And so much has changed in the last 3 years, and everybody's still rocking a 4-year-old phone. They're talking about how their iPhone 6 is still good. How could your iPhone 6 still be good? In the last 5 years, we've gone from 10 megabit per second average to 30 megabit per second average. And it's because of those new bands, and it's because of the new spectrum that the networks have deployed. And the last thing I'll say, and then you guys could jump in.
Good is relative.
Well, but Pete, listen to this. Everybody that pays their bills, they are giving the company money to operate. So they're paying for a service, and they're upgrading their network with the money that they make off of you. Why would you have an old phone and not take advantage of the investment into the network that you've given them? So I'm saying it's like you're paying all this money for the service. You've essentially given them the money to build out, and you're not going to take advantage of it. It's kind of a shame. Another
thing that really kills me when you commented on the fact that a lot of people want to keep a phone that's a little bit older than that. I try to tell people all the time, just like you just said, the speeds have changed. So you may have a Galaxy S7 Edge that came out in 2016, but the speed is not going to be 2016. Not 2016. It's not going to be 2019.
Right.
So it's going to be 2018.
Yeah. So you have to really I try to tell a lot of people, because everywhere I go here in Vegas, there's a lot of people who have newer phones. They might have the latest and greatest iPhone, or they may have the latest and greatest Samsung, but they don't have phones. There's some people that don't have those phones. Then you have people that, I seen somebody the other day. I went to the gas station. They had an iPhone 5. I think it was either 5S. I'm like, wow, what are you doing? And then I seen somebody the other day. they had a Samsung Galaxy S5. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Is that like a calculator or like?
Yeah, the crazy thing, it's like those phones were good at the time, but to say that my phone is still good, you're missing out on a huge part of the recent innovation and the technology of the networks.
Yes. That's why I love my OnePlus 6T. That's why I love my Pixel 2 XL. I mean, Pixel 2 XL, I don't have it running on T-Mobile. I have it running on Google Fi, which is basically, the same thing because they use T-Mobile network and they use Sprint networks. But these phones, I have no problem. I can leave my house and I can drive 20 miles from here and still have good service.
Right.
It's just another Pixel XL, the one I got that's sitting over here in my my little containers. I mean, I bring that out every now and then just to see the new updates, just to play with it a little bit, But I did a test. I used that phone for like a week, and believe it or not, the Pixel XL, you can still get some pretty good coverage, but you're not getting as good coverage as you would now.
Go ahead, Pete.
I'd use my OG Pixel still if the battery wasn't shot. This, literally, I turn this thing on, runs perfectly fine.
That's crazy.
And if I felt like it was worth getting the $80 battery kit, I'd probably replace it and let someone else use it. But
see, here's the thing. Like Pete, I have these conversations.
Removable batteries, by the way.
Take that device, right? That OG Pixel. You're using it as a reference device. You're not using it as a daily driver.
Yep.
That's a little bit different. When I'm talking daily drivers, people that are going around with a SIM card in their phone.
Yeah.
So that's a totally different ball game. If it's a secondary device, it's a different expectation.
You got people that are literally using phones that are older than my children as daily drivers.
Oh, come on.
I could believe that. I encountered someone still using a Nokia brick phone on Verizon, and they're like, Verizon's cutting my 3G. I'm going to have to upgrade. And I'm like, yeah, 3G's been old tech for 15 years. Where have you been?
And like I said, my Pixel XL, the battery, everything is still good. It's just that when I get further out, like the other day, I drove about 15, I want to say close to 15 miles away from where I live. Not even 15, I want to say probably like 13 and a half or whatever. It was not that good of experience. Like I was calling my wife and the calls were dropping, but it's like, sometimes you have to, I keep secondary. I always got two phones on me. I keep the 6T on me, and I keep any Pixel phone. Like I keep the Pixel 2, or now I'm keeping the Pixel 2 XL on me. But those are my go-to phones. Like I said, in another live stream, the Essential phone is not bad. The Essential phone can get good coverage. It's just the other day when I tried to use it, when I was like not too far away from my house, for some odd reason my LTE kept going out, and I kept going down to HTT plus. And I'm like,
which carrier is that?
The Essential phone, if I'm not mistaken, I think the person I got the phone from, they claimed it was the unlocked model, but I really think this was the Sprint model. Because when I first turned it on, it had the Sprint, not the Sprint boot up screen, but it had like the Sprint, it had a Sprint notification, and then it just disappeared. And I never seen it again after that.
Well, here's what I will say is sometimes the phones need a different firmware for them to be to have certain bands made available. So it might be just getting kind of pushed down into 3G, which is in that case HSPA or HSPA plus, whatever.
Hey, at least with Android, you can swap over the bands with a correct software utility on Apple. Exactly. Those bands are hard coded in the CPU.
That's why people love Android. People think, oh man, you like Android. I try to tell people there's so much you can do with Android. It's not just the multitasking and the features and the gimmicks that they push on TV and whatever. It's just like if you get tired, like say for instance, if I get tired of running stock Android on my Pixel 2 XL, I could unlock the bootloader and I could put pretty much any custom, I could root it and I could put any custom ROM I want on there. Same thing with my 6T.
I can unlock the bootloader on this while I'm talking if I plug it in.
Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that. And I had to completely try to change people's mindset. And I'm like, you can jailbreak an iPhone, but you're not really getting a lot of features once you jailbreak it.
And that's the thing. Like, here's a comment from Maverick. He says, most people who hang on to 2 or more year old devices are not tech savvy, really couldn't care less as long as it serves its function. Here's the problem. Root Metrics and all these other companies and Consumer Reports and whoever is testing data speeds and collecting crowdsourced data, they're getting data from all these phones. So if a bunch of people still have iPhone 6s and iPhone 5s, it's showing that a network is slower and than it really is. So if a market could be getting, say, for example, on average 50 megabits per second, but you got a bunch of people with old devices, it's going to bring down the average speeds to like 33 megabits per second.
Exactly. You know? And that's why people, they talk so much stuff about Pixel 3a XL and Pixel 3a. And it's like, okay, yeah, the Pixel 3As don't have the latest and greatest Snapdragon processors, but they're still a 2019 phone. And
yeah, but it has it's a globally unlocked phone. It has every LTE band.
Exactly.
T-Mobile, you'll get band 71 on a 3A. Pixel OG, you don't get 71 or the 800 or the other low frequency band T-Mobile has deployed.
And that's one of the benefits of having those phones is because you not only can you get those bands, but because people will kill me. They're like, well, the only thing the Pixels are good for is the cameras. It's not just the cameras. The cameras is not the reason why they're good phones. They're overall phones, period. I mean, the phone itself is the ultimate. I'm not going to say it's the ultimate phone, but it's the ultimate phone for people who don't want to have gimmicks. They don't want to have an optical 10 times, 30 times, 100 times zoom. They don't want to have this. They don't want to have that. Just go get a Pixel. Just go get a Pixel 3a.
I started using Pixel for one reason and one reason only. Even if you get it from a carrier store, you can get rid of the bloatware.
That too.
The thing I will say, and this is a comment from Aloha Android, you guys can check out his channel. Really good content, interesting perspective.
Yes.
And, he talks about here in this comment, he says people will complain about their poor signal and their poor speeds when they're running a phone from 2015.
Exactly.
Well, if they were running a more up-to-date piece of hardware, chances are, like most likely, that is going to be the issue because the newer devices have an expanded portfolio of LTE bands.
That is true.
My sister's mother-in-law keeps complaining, like, I go to Pennsylvania, I never have service in the Poconos. And I tell her, you're running a 2015 device.
Oh, my.
And the frequencies that will give you signal where you are, you need to get a 2019 device.
Exactly.
And she's like, no, I should be fine. It should work. T-Mobile just is out to get me. I'm like, no, you're behind the times.
I don't know why people use that conspiracy talk. Like, that's how people here out here in Vegas are. They kill me. They'll be like, oh, man, I can't stand this company. But then when I look at their phone, I'm like, dude, the phone you have literally came out 5 years ago. You can't complain about a company.
I have a 6-year-old son. He was born after that phone came out. Of course it's not working.
Yeah.
Hey, if you guys mind, I'd like to answer this question. If one has an AT&T iPhone 6s unlocked using Verizon, is the service limited or not the same connection as Verizon? So here's the thing. The Verizon iPhone 6s is the same model as the SIM unlocked iPhone model, Apple Store model. So actually, the Verizon one has more connectivity than the AT&T model. So the AT&T model is GSM only. You're probably only connected to 2 bands, 2 and 4.
Yep.
If you're using it on Verizon. So you're not getting band 13, and you're also not getting the CDMA connectivity because that modem in the 6S from AT&T is Intel, and it only does GSM connectivity.
Yeah, I was gonna say
so your phone calls won't sound amazing.
Well, the bigger problem, Pete, is you won't, even if you don't have LTE, you're kind of screwed. You're not going to get any of the other stuff.
Yeah, he's Verizon. On an LTE only device with that,
and it's 2 bands instead of 3 or 4. Carlos, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I have these conversations with people all the time, and they're like, "Oh, I just want it to work." Well, that's how you get it to work.
You make sure it has the correct
work. That's how you do it. You got to tell people that. You know what I'm saying, Ronaldo? You got to. They say, "Oh, I just want it to work." Yeah, this is how you do it.
That's what I've been trying. And the first thing that comes out of their mouth, Sneed, oh, well, I don't have the money right now. Go get you a Pixel. Look.
Wait a minute. How could you not have the money right now if the phone's 5 years old?
Listen, I've
financed the Pixel 3A through T-Mobile. It's $25 a month.
Exactly. No. This just popped up on my screen here. It says, and this is from a source that I really don't like to talk about because I don't know. But they said that the Pixel 3A, Pixel 3A XL prices are slashed due to the upcoming release of the Pixel 4. So earlier I did some research and I looked it up. It's true. The Pixel 3A is now, I believe, if you go on T-Mobile's website, I think it's about $289 or maybe $3, and the 3A XL is $375. So now it goes down from being $20 a month to being probably about $15 or $14 a month.
Yeah. $14 a month for a phone that will work on everything?
Exactly.
No, $12.50 a month.
$12.50? Wow.
I want to answer this question from Eddie. Eddie, anything Samsung Galaxy, either the S9 or Note 9, so anything that age or newer, actually every Galaxy has the firmware. Once you put in a carrier SIM card, as long as the device is paid off or unlocked, it has all of the LTE bands built in. So Samsung actually doesn't make different model devices anymore. They just put in different firmware for certain companies, and they put different preloaded apps. So if you are savvy, either you install the firmware yourself or you find a store or somebody who knows how to do it, install whatever carrier it is you want to use, and all the LTE bands become activated for that user. Usually it does it with a SIM card as long as the phone is unlocked. Once you put in the SIM, it updates the firmware for that carrier.
I've seen that. I've seen a couple of YouTubers do that.
Yeah, it starts with the S9, I think, and then it was like the Galaxy Note 9.
And that's another thing. I was going to buy a Galaxy S9 Plus because if you buy the international model version of that phone, it still has our bands.
That's what that's how you got to have. Go ahead.
They're hard to find at a good price.
Yeah. I just bought an S10 Plus. So how old would that phone be? About 5 months?
That's not even came out in March.
Yeah. So we're talking like 5 months, right?
October.
6 months.
It's about it'll be 8 months next month.
Bro, I bought it lightly used. It's like A grade quality in terms of like the condition it's in. Yeah. I got it for $450.
So I got it off the back of a truck.
Would you go?
No, man, it's legit. It's legitimate, man. I don't play games, bro.
Where'd you buy it? Where'd you buy it at?
I bought it off of eBay. It was an auction.
I tell people all the time, and people kill me. I love people and where they buy their phones and the stories they tell me. Listen, if anybody watches my channel, every single phone that I have was bought from eBay. And I do tons on eBay. Yeah, every single phone that I have is in immaculate condition. Like I don't have any phone that was scraped or dropped or I don't have any type of IMEI issues or anything. I take the time out. I go on eBay and I scrub. I go over every single seller. I check their sell history. I check to see if they had any type of bad reviews within the last 9 months. I even comb through the reviews to even make sure if they're real reviews because a lot of people pay people to do reviews for them. So, you have to watch certain wordage and you have to watch the way certain people say, oh, yeah, my phone came on time. So I trust that. And then once I see that that's an okay go, then I'll make my purchase on whatever devices they have. Like Never MSRP. He's one of the best eBay phone sellers out there. He's like the top person. There's another person under him, but he shut his eBay store down, I think, for the moment. But Never MSRP has the best deals on prices as far as phones, and he has best phones. I mean, I think he got the Samsung Galaxy Note 10. I think you can go on his eBay store and probably get it right now for like $800, which is a deal.
I mean, that phone, any flagship Galaxy device of the same year is selling brand new at a carrier store or from Samsung for over $1,000 for like an S10 Plus or a Note 10 Plus. They're over 1,000. They're 1,100 and 1,200 depending on your configurations, your RAM, and whatever else that you're doing, and your storage.
Exactly.
And it's crazy. And actually, that takes me to another point. People who want to have a nice phone that's powerful should probably move away from mid-rangers and start buying the last year flagship, because you don't have to spend, more than $500 to get a flagship that could be from last year and in excellent condition, and you're getting last year's best phone from that manufacturer. So buying a $500 mid-range makes no sense at that point, because even that mid-ranger, brand new, is not better than the last year flagship.
No.
Or you could look at the example from Pixels recently. If you wait 2 months, they cut $300.
Yeah, they do all types of promos and stuff like that.
So if I'm interested in a Pixel 4 XL, I'm not going to jump on it.
No.
I'm going to wait until there's a good price. But as it is, my 3XL battery's fine. I'm not looking for anything.
Okay. So I'm on his store. If anybody's interested in the chat, I'm on the store. He has Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, 256 gig, 12 gigs of RAM. Starting price is $873.
Hold on. That's the most expensive model, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then if you scroll down, let me go. OnePlus 7 Pro, 256 gig, 12 gigs of RAM, $649. Now that's not as expensive as the one that's $750, but they had to drop the price because of the 7T and the 7T Pro. But he even has Huawei phones on here. Huawei Mate 20 Pro, $549.
But see, Ronaldo, you got to be mindful about the Huaweis. They're amazing.
Yeah.
But and I'm telling you, I'm sick of hearing it from people. They tell me I get LTE on my Huawei, but the problem is you're getting like 2 or 3 of those LTE bands. So they're getting some LTE,
but not all.
No, not all. And then their network's gonna crash and it's gonna be slow. And they're like, "Why is my phone so slow?" Well, are we really having this conversation right now?
Like I think I told you this like almost a month and a half ago, Sneak. On my Poco phone, I did a test. I literally put my T-Mobile SIM card in.
What did I tell you about this, Ronaldo? Go ahead.
And I drove from my home and probably about 2 miles away from where I live. And my wife, I couldn't hear anything she was saying. But this is something I already knew, but I just wanted to test it out on my own to see if it was that bad. And it's extremely bad. Like you don't even have any. You get the little network. As far as network, you don't even. I think you get 3G and that's it. There's no 4G. There's no H. There's not even H plus.
Yeah, I mean it's from China, bro.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's a Chinese phone that's geared to the Indian market. And on top of that.
Oh, so then it's for India LTE bands.
Exactly.
Pete, I don't even think they use TDD. Don't they use FDD?
They use FDD.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are we talking here? So you're always going to be in 3G and 2G and 1X.
No matter where you go. Now I've heard stories that people said that they have gotten somewhat 4G with AT&T SIM card, but I'm like, I don't have an AT&T SIM card, so I can't really do that.
You know what? That takes us to AT&T, the topic of the night.
You're saving money by not having an AT&T SIM. Congratulations.
So, Ronaldo, are you hip to what happened?
No, I haven't. Man, Steve, man, you know me, man. I've been bouncing back and forth. But really, today I've been on my my movie stuff. I've just been checking out movies that's coming up and new films or whatever. But what's going on?
All right, so AT&T has increased another fee.
Oh God!
All right, so this is what they do. It's like it's in their DNA at this point, right? It's like genetic. All right, so they raised the fee in January of 2019. It's what is it called? It's called the it's got a name. Cost assessment charge or cost assessment fee. Anyways, it was one.
It's a charge, not a fee.
Yeah, it was 1.27% in 2017.
Yeah, I remember that.
It went up to 2.9% in January of this year, and now it's going up to 7%.
It already went up to 7%.
Yeah, it went up as of October, so all the October bills are reflecting it.
I remember their so-called the first time they increased the bill. I remember that one, what was it, 1.30% or something like that? In the beginning, I can't remember the first one, but they claimed that percentage was for the NSA or something to listen in to make sure there's not any type of terror or any type of it was something strange.
Okay, but that's the thing. Like that fee has look at this reason is to pay for your property
or
tax.
NASA. It was something about NASA. That's what
I remember.
No,
it was NSA.
It was NSA. Oh,
okay, but they're talking about this is going towards their property taxes. Bruh, I'm going to tell my employer I need extra money, pay me more because you got to pay my property taxes for me.
No, you got to tell your customers
But that's even worse. It's not even realistic. Like, why? How is this happening, bro?
And it's sad because it's like T-Mobile. I mean, not T-Mobile. AT&T is like they really are the greediest company. Like they just like I said, I used to work for them. I work for a call center that was outsourced to AT&T, and
it wasn't in India.
No, it was here. It was here in Las Vegas. It's the name of the company was Sykes. That's the name of the call center. But they had an AT&T contract. We wasn't even the only company here. There was another company. So it was two different companies in Las Vegas that had a contract with AT&T. We were number 2 and the other company was number 1. But the overall experience with people, I used to hear people talk to the customers just crazy. I'm like, why are you? And then that was in the plan. It wasn't literally built into the plan. Like they was like telling us, hey, look, tell the customer, whatever. But it was just, they didn't care. And it was really sad. And I was there for almost a year. And then they fired over 350 of us.
Dang.
Yeah. Shut the whole entire call center down. Over 350 people lost their job.
Sprint's hemorrhaging employees also.
Yeah, they are.
That mergers, they want to cut jobs when they merge, but if they cut like 10%, isn't that better than hemorrhaging 35%?
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
Terrible.
People are like, yeah, the economy, we got to worry about the economy. And I mean, what's worse than a company that's failing? And actually and you think about AT&T, like, how are they so successful with these business practices? I don't know if you've seen my video, Pete, you've seen it. My history of AT&T video.
No, I missed that video.
I'm gonna make sure that I get it over to you. I'm gonna tweet it out tonight. Actually, it's the history of AT&T.
Wow.
And it's from 1890. I'm not exaggerating, Ronaldo. From 1890, they have been a company that has always tried to corner the market, consume competition, and leverage the market so that way they have no other game. They wanted to lock down long distance calling. They wanted to lock down TV. They were a company that had to be intervened and regulated by the government, forcing them to split into 7 companies.
What?
I'm telling you, bro, it's crazy. Pete, talk to him, bro.
When I was a kid, I remember Bell. And Bell got acquired by AT&T in what year was it? Like 94, 95?
Wait. Where were you a kid? Were you Mountain Bell?
No.
Where was this?
I was in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. You were in South Bell.
That's the one.
You were on AT&T.
I was Ohio Bell when I was a kid. I remember Ohio Bell.
I didn't know Atlantic.
Now I remember. They had different regions of Bell.
And that's the thing. They were consuming everything to the point where even Sprint, guys, people don't know this about Sprint, but Sprint was like a legit competitor to AT&T, and they were awesome. Sprint gave people a second option for long distance calling, but it was hard to compete because AT&T started in the 1800s with Alexander Graham Bell. That's where that name comes from. You got to watch the video, man. It's crazy.
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
It literally took me 20 minutes. Like, that's how long the video is. It's 20 minutes to cover their history. And it's literally all about just consuming competition and eliminating competitors.
And he cut it down for my original nagging for 45.
He tried to get me to do every little step along the way. I went from like 1890 to like 1970.
Yeah, just 1970.
Damn.
I'm actually, so I've done a history of Verizon. I've done a history of AT&T. I'm building the scripts for the history of Sprint. Yeah, man. I got some really good videos, man. I really do.
And I'm telling you, man, I need to sit down one day and I need to treat everybody like we all Netflix subscription. And just binge watch everybody.
Don't do that with my channel. I only have 2 playlists.
There's so many people on here that has the best information. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's all about the content. You know, like my videos, I really need to work on my tone and my pitch, because I went back and watched a couple of my videos last night and I was like, oh my God, that sounded like I was drunk in one video. So it's like I need to go back, and like my wife keep telling me, she like, you really need to write it down. Just write it down. Write it down.
You trying to do one of these, Ronaldo? You trying to go all baritone?
But you know what? You and a couple of other people out there, when I watch their channel, I gain information. And that's pretty much what I look for. I try to gain information. I try to absorb as much information as I can, because I want to have a learning experience. Because there's a lot of people out there who got YouTube channels. You go on there and they're really not trying to teach you anything. Like, they're not really telling you important information. They're just trying to get watch time.
Well, ask Pete what he does for a living. Pete, what do you do? Pete?
Computer repair, manage website services, server administration, writing research papers.
He serves and helps people. You get what I'm saying? All the time. I'm a school teacher. That's what we do.
Yeah. I also TA one college class at the moment.
So we're in the business of helping others. You know what I mean?
Your videos can't be as bad as mine. Mine are basically this little wire poking on a board.
Give me 1 second, fellas. But I'm still on the clock. Give me 1 second.
But I do, small hardware repair.
Robert says, I have info vids in my public profile on YouTube. Look for telecommunications playlist. There was a question earlier about the iPhone XS Max and if it was going to work on other carriers. It was
Verizon. If it was purchased with Sprint,
it'll work fine. The iPhone situation from like I think maybe the 8 and newer, but it's definitely 10 and newer. They have all the LTE bands. It's just I think a situation where you just have to make sure that your device's carrier unlocked and the phone is paid off. So then you should be good.
Mm. Oh, the summer I also taught 2 Cyber Patriot courses.
Therald says, ever since I switched to AT&T, my coverage has been phenomenal. I don't think I can ever go back to T-Mobile. I mean, I wouldn't say never. Yeah, I wouldn't say, never, Therald. I would definitely kind of leave that window slightly open, because if T-Mobile was to completely change the game in 5G nationally, you may be saying a different song, I wouldn't tolerate a phone company that keeps raising your fees. That's why I like T-Mobile. Haven't raised my fee in 6 years. Pete, you could attest to that.
Yeah, they probably lowered Avid's fees.
What's up, Francis? Good to have you on. Yep, Pete's got the Assad's Bakery shirt on there. Big shout out to Assad's Bakery in the CLE.
They have some of the best shawarma in the area.
The bomb.
The bomb.
The iPhone 11, 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max have more LTE. Well, they do, because, you're getting, I think, band 66, 71, 14. I don't know if I think the new ones have band 46. The only one that doesn't is the 10R.
So one thing about Assad Bakery, they don't have goat shawarma, but their beef kicks ass.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I like goat, I like lamb, but it's hard to come by, man. Got it, Jose.
I have to special order that from my bakery.
Hey, Pete, we got the link right down here to the history of the AT&T video. Rafi, thank you for pointing that out. Guys, check that video out. It pretty much explains why this topic of AT&T raising fees doesn't surprise us. I mean, Pete,
it
surprised at all?
pisses me off,
yeah,
but doesn't surprise me.
No, it's not a surprise at all.
Robert,
I have a Huawei device running the
heroes don't hold a candle to shawarma.
What mobile broadband devices have band 14? Anything on the newer side. So anything probably this year and on is guaranteed to have band 14.
Wait, by mobile broadband, does he mean those 4G LTE pucks that do Wi-Fi, or is he talking about cell phones?
Well, actually, you got to be careful with the pucks and the hotspots. You might have to even sometimes get a AT&T branded device. You know, that's why I recommend.
And even then, they might overcharge you.
They will definitely overcharge you. A Nighthawk from them is like $600, $700.
I love T-Mobile. Use them all the time. Don't recommend getting hotspots from them.
AT&T should be history. They're the most. They're one of the most successful telecoms / TV providers / everything. Like, they're a huge company. They're in media now. Like, they're massive. Sean, it's basically gonna raise your bill $6 to $7 for every 100. Because it depends on your state, and it depends how much you're like. Let's say your bill's $100, 7%. That's $7. You know, if your bill's $150, you know, you're paying about what, $11 or something. And that's not the only fee. That's not the only tax. There's other stuff. What's up, Sham? What is the info for eBay to buy phones? I mean, my recommendation is just find a trusted seller.
Yeah.
Dustin, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate the donation. From Pixel 2 to Pixel 4, I'd say that's definitely an upgrade. 2 generations for sure. But I mean, there's going to be tons of differences in the LTE availability there in those 2 years.
In some situations, waiting for the 4A might be the better idea, though.
You're going to save a lot of money.
Yep.
Something like I hear that the new Pixels are going to be $1,000 for the larger.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can't budget the 4 this year and your 2's running fine, you can wait for the 4A. That will still be a phenomenal upgrade. It's all about what you can afford.
Or just get the 3A Pixel 3 XL.
You know, the 3 XL would be an amazing upgrade at that point.
Yeah. The 3 would get you band 71. It would get you band 66.
Yep.
And it will get you band 46.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you won't have 48, which is less of an issue. You probably won't need that till 2020. 2021 maybe, actually.
And by then, the Pixel might have a 5G antenna included.
Pete, I heard that's the rumor right now, man.
Yeah, I was going to see.
Pixel 4 5G. It's happening.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's ready.
I'm not buying it.
I mean, you're going to be in over $1,000.
So they can offer it and have it made to order so they don't waste the production cost.
Made to order you. So we'll have it shipped to you in 3 months.
Did you guys go on GSM Arena and did you see that there's going to be 2 different variants within the 4 and the 4 XL?
What's the situation there?
So basically the Pixel 4, the standard model, is going to have 64 gigs, of course, and 128 gigs. Now, the big rumor is that the Pixel 4 XL is going to have 128 gigs starting off, and then 256. Also, it's going to be 128 gigs and 6 gigs of RAM, and then 256 gigs with 8 gigs of RAM.
So here's the problem with all of that. The problem with all of that is they're giving premium treatment to the XL, but not the 4.
Yep.
Sounds like Samsung.
Wow. So they're basically making the 4XL to compete with a Note, but they're making the 4 to compete with the iPhone 11.
That's what I'm thinking, Sneed. I could be wrong, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, like I told everybody that I personally know, GSM Arena's never let me down before. Like every time, because people be having this leak, they be having that leak, they be having this, they be having that, they be having this. I've always gone to GSM Arena, and GSM Arena, they have yet to let me down in like the last 4 years. So you never know.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. You don't give special treatment to just a larger display.
That's what I was saying.
That's the primary difference.
Not everybody wants a huge phone.
Leaked,
exactly.
Not even on leaked specs, but the official posted specs. The only difference is the size of the screen.
The Pixel 3 does have 46. It came in a firmware update from Google this year.
I have 46 available on my Pixel 3.
There we go.
I don't use it, but I have it.
Bro, there's only like 3 scenarios where you'll ever connect to 46. It's airports. It's like arenas, like NBA arenas. It's like Wi-Fi. Like you have to be really, it runs off of a 5 gigahertz connection.
So the way 46 works is they updated the Wi-Fi antenna to accept it.
Yeah, it's not,
which is quite a bit easier than upgrading the phone modem.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't need. Now, here's the thing. I covered this topic in a video, I think, last week. I got to do one on Band 48 because we've got the auction in the summer of 2020. So that's up and coming.
So what you think, Snee? You think that's really going to be like, you really think they're going to push that? Because knowing Google, they will pull a move like that.
It's a stupid move. And for the last 3 years, 4 years, however long these Pixels have been being made, I go back to the Android.
That's 2016.
Well, I go back even further because I was buying Nexus devices.
Me too. I go all the way
back. Nexus 4, went from that to a Note 4, got pissed off about the bloatware in the Note 4, and bought the OG Pixel, and I'm like, wow, this is Nexus-like.
Yeah.
When the first pure stock Android device that I ever got my hands on was the Nexus 5. And I'll never forget it. I got the Nexus 5 from someone that I traded them a Galaxy S4. Like I had an all white S4, and I traded.
Oh, that was a good phone.
Yeah, I traded them that for the Nexus 5. It was worth the trade.
Oh yeah,
it was worth the trade because they didn't like the phone because they didn't have an SD card. See, that's another reason why people nowadays. I'm talking about back in the day here. Back in the day, a lot of people didn't want to switch over to Nexus, even Pixel now, because it doesn't have SD card support. And people will say in their videos that's not really a big deal or a deal breaker, but some people are really heavily dependent on a SD.
I am
heavy.
I constantly have to manage my files because I have limited space on these devices.
That too, but see, I've learned in the last, I want to say since the beginning of this year, probably the tail end of last year, I just use a OTG cable, and I got a 256 gig USB, and I got another 128 gig USB. And when I record my videos, I just take all of my videos and I just extract them all over to my USB, and that's it.
Yeah, I had such a problem with storage becoming a creator over the last couple of years. Yeah. That's why I bought an S10 Plus. I wanted a headphone jack and I wanted the SD card storage.
Yeah. Because
my files are massive. If I do a 10-minute video in 1080p, it's going to be like 1.5 to 2 gigs.
Yeah, it's like 3 gigs almost.
I mean, the nice thing about the Samsung compression, I don't know, it makes it smaller. When I was doing it on my Pixels, it would be like 2 to 3 gigs.
So for $45, this is a 256 gig thumb drive.
Mm-hmm. OTG.
USB-C.
Boom. Oh, I know which one you got. Yeah.
Goes right in if I'm not using an OtterBox.
Yeah, those OtterBoxes, man. That's why I have a, where's it at? Let me see.
I have extenders, but...
Yeah, I have an extender. I have like 3 of them.
But heck, I could.
The Nocturnal, the Google Drive is only unlimited if you have a premium Pixel device. If you have a 3A, if you have a 3A XL, those don't have the unlimited storage.
And the downside to Google Photos is it diminishes your quality.
$30 at Best Buy.
I'm telling you, I've learned, and Samsung. Like I said, I used to be a Samsung. I'm not even gonna call myself a knight. I used to be a Samsung
apologist.
Yeah, like I used to be like I was like a Samsung
sheep.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
like
because they were making the best hardware for a long time.
And it's just like people say, oh, they have these features and they have gimmicks, and it's like, dude, I used to use those gimmicks and those features a lot.
Yeah,
like I used to use
it's only a gimmick if you don't use the feature.
Exactly. That's just like the Pixel 4, the whole solely gestures or whatever. People can say what they want to say, but we really don't know what we can do with those solely gestures.
Oh, Tito's big on it. Aloha Android, he's all for those features coming to Google.
Me too.
But you know who does Google phones better than Google?
OnePlus,
bro. OnePlus does Google phones better than Google. If somebody were to say to me, I have $600 and I want a Pixel phone, instead of telling them to go get the 3XL or to get some other Google phone, I'll tell them to go buy a OnePlus 7T
or 7 Pro.
Yeah, you'd probably get under $600.
You can get a 7 Pro, man. I'm telling you, Sneed. Since the 7T has dropped, and that's the thing, the 7T hasn't even in T-Mobile yet.
Nope.
Is that me?
No, it's anytime where like whatever, it's StreamYard. It did this the last time me and Pete weren't on. Remember?
Yeah, I remember. I was watching.
So usually when it does that, it doesn't stop. So if it does it again, I think we'll just cut off the stream.
Yeah.
What engine do we have to kick?
I have no idea, man. It's just it's weird. It only does it when I multi-stream.
Sound like feedback, like super feedback.
I don't know.
My audio's coming in through my headphones.
Yeah, so I think what we'll do is, because it's going to keep doing this, I'll just end it here. I want to thank everybody.
How many likes did we
have?
You got 51, and then some weirdo that disliked it.
Hey, I got a troll, man. I got a professional hater.
Wait. How do we only have 51?
That's what I said.
Let's get those likes up before you guys head out for tonight's video. Make sure you guys like this video and do share it. It really helps the channel grow and helps the channel get into the algorithms of YouTube.
No giveaway tonight. Sorry,
no
boys.
giveaway. Maybe next time. I do want to thank some people. I want to thank Pete for coming on to the podcast. He usually comes on the Sunday podcast. So thanks for being here, Pete.
Seems to work better for me.
Yeah, I want to thank Ronaldo, guest spot. This is his first time on the channel.
Sorry you couldn't see me, everybody.
It's okay. Maybe next time we'll get you in the video.
Like a shadow. I'm like a phantom guest.
Ronaldo, I put a link to the camera Sneed and I use in the private chat here.
Okay.
39.45.
What? Let me go check it out.
Yeah. It only takes $40 to get some decent video.
And this does 1080p as long as the provider lets you do it, and it has a microphone, and it works.
All right, and I want to thank my moderators. I want to thank Rafi. I want to thank Nocturnal. I think who else was moderating tonight? I think Jamaal was in the house tonight.
I thought I was a moderator. I guess I don't think I am.
Oh, you're definitely going to be a moderator. Let me get in here and let me see what's going on there, because sometimes, like, I'll go to add a moderator and it doesn't add it right away. So I just have to go back and check to see who else is in there.
Wow, that link you gave me, Pete, at the very bottom, they really not playing. They said a Logitech plus a Logitech keyboard and a Blue Yeti. Wow. I love Best Buy. I need to go back and start buying stuff from them again. I'm addicted to eBay, man. Like, I got a problem with eBay.
So, my cousin's a Geek Squad manager. I go to Best Buy, look at this stuff, as long as it's not for my business. I'm like, hey, cuz, this is a sales call.
Oh, man, somebody just bought a Pixel 2 XL I was looking at for my wife. I just lost that bid. Pixel 2 XL, 128 gig. The Panda, 242.50. Comes with the box, the charger, and it comes with 2 cases. I just lost that bid. I ain't worried about it.
All right, Ronaldo, I'm going to go ahead and give you a official moderator status.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. So now you get a big old wrench.
So this Melissa, forget her surname, was wondering about phones on, what was it, AT&T Invisible. If you get a new iPhone, it will work on both, no problem. Especially if it's from the carrier store. Good chance if you get it from the Visible store, which will give you a $300 gift card for, it will work on AT&T, no problem as well.
That's not bad. I really need to buy an iPhone, man. I'm really against them for some odd reason.
I got a 5S right here. This is only used for registering things that, for whatever reason, still don't work with Android.
Yeah, iOS is not really my thing. I'm not big on iOS. Although I will say that now the iPhones have the features that they should have had a while ago. Like you can make an argument that the 10, the 10s Max, the 10s, the 11s, like they're up to date now. They have wireless charging. They've got rapid charging. You know, they've got some of the features. The waterproofing is there.
Yeah.
I recently got a Wear OS watch. iOS 11 will work with this.
Wow.
I look at those iWatches. I'm like, why are we locking people into a phone?
I've been checking out these fossils and
this is a fossil. It's
fossil.
Great.
Fossil is a good one. And then I've been checking out what is it? TicWatch?
This cost me $140 on Amazon.
And that's a deal.
It's a deal. The box was damaged. The watch wasn't. So it's a good deal.
That's a deal.
And I can answer my phone calls on it.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Here's a way to get some cheap storage. $11.99 per year for 100 gigs on Amazon Drive.
It's not bad at all.
A full terabyte for $60.
I get better deals on Google, but as a business.
You know what happened? I got a funny story about the Google Drive storage. So I bought a Moto. I can't remember what the name of the phone was, but I bought the phone.
Yeah, that's that phone. That's that noise. I don't know. It always does this whenever there's a multi-stream.
Google, play Indigada Davida.
But yeah, I bought a Moto phone from Metro, and they had like some type of plan where it gave you 115 gigabytes of Google Drive storage or whatever. And I did it one time, and now I have 115 gigabytes of Google Drive storage instead of the standard one that they give you, which I think is 15.
What? That's most anything you want. That is not Indigo Davida. Correct album, though.
Hey, I don't know if you guys play fantasy football. Anybody got any players left in this Sunday night game?
Man, Sneed, I'm not even a football player, man. I'm a boxer. If it ain't boxing or MMA.
Oh, let's talk MMA one of these days.
Any type of contact, full contact, mixed martial arts or anything martial arts.
Wait, so you're in Vegas, man? They always got the fights over there.
Oh man,
at T-Mobile Arena, man.
Oh man, you can go. I can leave my house right now and I can go up the street to a station casino because we got station casinos, and I could take bets on any up and coming fights, any up and coming games, hockey, baseball, football, soccer. It's crazy, man.
I Vegas isn't a place for me, man. I'll be honest with you.
Same here.
I'm a Midwestern guy that's a little more wholesome than that.
Yeah,
hey, Troy. This is Ronaldo DeLeon.
Yeah, you got to say it with the accent, bro. Pinky up.
Ronaldo DeLeon. And Troy, you're gonna have to catch us on replay. We're about done.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if Pete, you have any closing statements on tonight's topics or anything?
I wish this fiasco with AT&T could get me more grant money to fix their issue, but I'm so happy with their outsourcing who's on what frequency to India.
What? I'm just reading what my boy Tito said. He said, I remember when you bought an LG phone, they gave you 200 gigs of Google Drive. What?
On this
nice
Pixel
bonus,
3 XL, I have unlimited 4K photo storage.
Yeah, the premium pixels you get unlimited for free.
Yeah.
So this also includes the video. So oddly enough, it caps out video on the stock camera at 10 minutes. If I'm on a good LTE connection, that's uploaded and removed from my phone in 5. And then I can continue recording in a loop for an hour.
Wow. That's why I need to give me a 3XL, man. I've been looking, man. I can't find it. Nobody has a good deal. Like, it's like everybody that I've been trying to get one from on eBay is somebody had one on eBay the other day. They had a 3XL 128 gig. And it was not in the best condition. They were selling it for $450. I'm like, dude, the back is scuffed up. The glass is cracked.
Are you talking eBay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful, man. Some of these people out here are tripping, bro. It'll go unsold and relisted like 10 times before.
Oh no! Trust me, I seen that. That happen the other day. Somebody did that the other day, and they thought they was slick. And I hit him up. I said, "Hey, I thought somebody bought it already." He was like, "Oh no, he tried to tell me he didn't want to buy it because it was used." I'm like, "Oh, I'm not messing with that." But keep it going.
All right, my closing statement. Actually, you know what? I'll just stick to the video part, like when we started talking about AT&T.
Hey, I did stick to the video myself.
Yeah, I know, but Pete, you remember you started talking about night and weekend minutes. You have beef from AT&T from like 95, bro. Bro, I'm telling you, the beef with Pete is taking beef to the grave, bro. So here's
called a vendetta. A vendetta.
Here's my take. Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint, they can all go to hell. But AT&T is the worst. They are the most evil, the shadiest. They will do things like this. They're actually being transparent and telling you what they're doing. In years past, they must have gone to therapy or something. In years past, they would have just did it and you would have been surprised.
You would have never known.
Yeah, they would have tried to sneak it in there on the sly, you know? So I want to say maybe they worked it out in rehab. Maybe they worked it out in therapy. Now they're trying to keep it real with people. I don't know.
So, according to Dante Alighieri, Satyrio secto, Satyrio septa, Septiria hecto.
Bro, like, why are you swearing at us? We didn't do anything.
I'm not swearing.
Oh, I thought that was you're speaking in tongues again.
No, that's liturgical Latin from the 16th century.
Whatever.
Sixth circle, seventh circle, or eighth circle.
Eighth circle. Yep.
Man, y'all.
Satira hector.
Delta, isn't that the triangle?
That's Greek. This is
Latin. My
Latin.
bad, bro.
Yeah, that's
I thought it was the same.
Oh man, so I just got a message from the webbings that I hang out in, and they said that one the model that I was telling you guys about says $1,100 plus for the top spec'd out plus model and $1,200 for the. I'm like, oh my god.
Nah.
Oh boy.
Ain't gonna be able to do it.
Nope. I will buy
that's why a channel like yours, Ronaldo, is important.
Yes.
You know, to try to get yourself a good, functional, feature-rich device without spending.
And still have money to pay your bills.
Bro, who's spending stacks on devices? Come on, man.
That's what I tried to tell people. I'm like, who is literally
I spent $980 on this, and I got a 25% tax deduction off the cost.
Yeah, because you're putting it on your business expenses.
Oh, yeah.
But out of pocket, period, without any type of loophole. Think about that one. Think about people.
Yeah, you can't buy a new phone out of pocket.
Oh, it's impossible.
Coming out $1,000, man. You go into a store, they're like straight up like, yeah, you can get this one for $1,000, like it's some kind of deal.
Yeah, like what?
It's only $1,000.
Like I've been telling people for like the last 2 years, phones are like cars now. It's like going to the dealership now.
That's crazy.
Like it's like literally going to the dealership, filling out paperwork, and setting up a payment plan.
Bro, it's gotten to the point where I think I might have to hustle my left kidney to get my wife the next iPhone, man.
Tell her
wife, go ahead.
You can't tell her she doesn't need it.
Bro, I just bought her the 10S Max last year.
That's fine for another 2 years.
Yeah, I ain't getting her nothing, man. She could let that marinate for another 3 to 4 years.
That's another phone, good phone for like the 2022.
Well, it's going to be, and then actually after that, you got to think, okay, well, CBRS band will be made available by 2021. Grand scale deployment 2022.
Sneed, it's going to be a great phone until you move them all over to the T-Mobile 5G plan.
Well, I mean,
hold
on. Shouldn't the LTE continue to be bolstered? Don't we expect Band 48 to really set us up?
It's going to be bolstered, but it's going to be a great phone until you move them over to the T-Mobile 5G plan in 2022.
Well, from what I can tell, a 5G plan is still just a plan.
Yep.
We're still talking 2020 for standards-based.
I'm saying 2022 5G. You'll be able to justify that.
It's just crazy, man. I'm watching people speed testing Verizon, and they're like getting like 1.5 gigabytes. Then they go stand behind like an oak tree, and they're getting like it drops into 4G again. Like, what the hell is going on?
And then they go behind the guy in the street, and their battery's dead.
Yeah, and their hands cooking. You
got to literally stand at the clock tower at midnight in order for you to get 1.6 gigabytes of download speed.
But it's unfortunate because they're trying to sell it to people. It's an upcharge. They're telling people it's only going to add $10 to your bill.
$30 upcharge.
No, it's 10.
Then what kills me is the nodes, like the location of the nodes that they have out here. Like I seen a node the other day.
You guys have T-Mobile. You have T-Mobile 5G over there.
Yeah. Well, we have beta. We have like we don't even have beta. We have alpha.
Sneed's beta near him.
We have alpha at this point, and it's like the nodes are like they look very strange.
You know what really pissed me off, Ronaldo? So, and Pete, you know this is true. You'll back me up on this. T-Mobile has always dogged. Well, John Leisure has always dogged Verizon, talking about how like it's fake 5G, and you guys don't really have a coverage map, and you can't connect to it. It's horrible. And then T-Mobile goes and does the same thing. They put up a few 5G nodes. I wish they didn't do that.
And then Neville says it's crap 5G, so we can't charge you for it.
But okay, so and that's honorable. But if you're if you're gonna stick to your guns and dog Verizon for doing it, why would you do it?
5G.
But why'd they do it?
No, man.
PR. They did it for PR.
Come on. It's unnecessary. They should have stuck to their guns, and that's why I don't like John, man. When John does crap like that and gets all huffy and snuffy on Twitter and gets all crazy talking about everybody else, and he's on the same stuff.
Yep. Should have did the 71N.
Yeah. And actually, that's what I'm excited to see. I'm excited about mid-band. I'm excited about low band when T-Mobile finally gets this merger thing done and they could put out some nationwide 5G.
Hopefully we can get it done.
Did you see that Mississippi switched, Ronaldo?
No, I didn't.
Mississippi was against the merger. T-Mobile swung them. They got them to change.
A little envelope money under the table.
Here, sir, buy something nice for the wife.
Walk away. Don't even.
Oh man, crazy. All right, so I think what we'll do is. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. I was gonna say, how many votes does it need to be again?
It's not about votes. Well, they got the FCC votes. There's 5 commissioners in the FCC. 3 of them voted pro merger.
Okay.
They got the DOJ on board, so they're good there. The problem now is it's going to trial in a Manhattan court. Letitia James is the state attorney general for New York. She's spearheading the block. Her and California aren't budging. I'm positive a couple more states will switch. Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
California.
Yeah, California is going to ride with New York, bro.
They're the main people. Those 2 states are the main states that need 5G at the.
Bro, you ain't lying, bro. All that capacity they need.
Are you serious?
This is how T-Mobile could win California. Really easy, really simple. Because the firefighters are state employees in California, they're like, you know that BS Verizon did with you guys? Here, unlimited data. Enjoy.
Well, you saw what Mississippi did, right, Pete?
Yeah. But T-Mobile says, hey, California, here's 5G for your first responders. Don't bother sending us payments.
Yeah, that's the exact opposite of what Verizon did.
Yeah, so they say here's unfettered 5G access if we get this through. Don't expect a bill. They should win.
That'd be a game changer. And actually, that's what Mississippi did. They leveraged commitments from T-Mobile to build out 5G in 3 years to 62% of their population and 93% within 6 years.
Tell you the truth, if T-Mobile added a charge on my bill, despite the taxes and fees included, for like 3%, saying this is to give first responders free access, I'd be like, why are you only charging me 3%?
Yeah. Got a super chat right here. Thank you from words I can't read.
I wish I knew Hebrew.
Yeah, thank you for the donation. Appreciate the super chat very much.
I can't even read that. Damn.
But I do see this.
Super chat, Mazel Tov.
I will say I do have a video dropping tomorrow. I will explain why Mississippi switched. I know exactly why. Pete, you've already seen the video. You're on Patreon, so you know. Big shout out to the Patreon page.
Before you set out that video.
Yeah, you know exactly where I'm going with this. So
my ear's been on the ground for every state. I knew before that happened.
Ronaldo, we're OGs in this network thing, man.
Yeah, man. I've seen it. I've been, like I said, Sneed, I've been watching you since we first started talking.
Yeah.
Like I've really, because this knowledge, people don't understand. This type of knowledge needs to be passed on for generations and generations.
We're trying to inform the people, man.
At this point, we really need to understand, because in 20 years from now, we're not even probably going to even have bands. We're probably going to have, man, it's going to be insane.
Yeah, the technology will be different. It'll all be beamforming, right, Pete?
It's going to be insane.
So
completely insane.
In the lab next to the 5G lab I work in, there's already doing beamforming.
Oh my god.
Also, I'm in a 5G lab. I'm not going to get cancer. I'm not going to grow anything extra.
I tell people all the time. They think 5G is some type of...
Bro, hey,
so
my birthday's in December. You guys are coming on. We're wearing tinfoil hats, man. We're doing the Alex Jones thing.
In my 5G lab, if I stand up and release gas, if they're doing 5G transmission, they slap me. Because I just destroyed their bandwidth.
LTE was originally only 42 bands. Well, they got... How many they got now?
Like 100 something?
Dang!
Wow.
It's like 100. It's like 100. When I did my
146.
Yep. Pete, man, you good, man. Because I was going to say 130, but 146 good.
The highest is 146. It teeters off around 9.1 gigahertz.
I remember when 4G dropped. Everybody lost their minds.
I had the Evo 4G.
Lost it.
I remember the Evo. Motorola Atrix. I remember that one.
I was on 3G up until I got my Galaxy S4.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's probably when I got mine too. I think I switched over to 4G when I got mine. Because when I had my S3, people was talking so bad. Oh man, that phone ain't got 4G. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, you got a Galaxy S3 from T-Mobile. It doesn't have 4G. I'm like, what? What do you mean it doesn't have 4G?
All right, guys, I want to just do this one more super chat. Thank you, Carlos, for the donation. Let's get them likes up. If you guys, please, listen to Carlos, listen to me. Go ahead and like the video here and share it if you could.
70 now, Steve.
Yeah, there we go.
Mr. AIM has a point. If we do Alex Jones, we might be banned by YouTube. I think Alex Jones was banned by YouTube because...
Bro, I just want to wear a tinfoil hat on my birthday. That's all I want to do.
So, I think Alex Jones was banned from YouTube for one reason. He's insane and he's encouraging insanity.
Yeah, he's off his rocker, man.
Sneed, when's your birthday?
December 7th.
So you are a Sagittarius, Sneed.
Dude, I could be on for your birthday, but 2 days later I'm going to be in Puerto Rico.
Man, you going to the PR, man? You're going to the island, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing a tech conference.
Oh, man. It's going to be freezing over here.
Yeah,
I wish I could.
I'm going to be driving around Puerto Rico and seeing where their Band 71 gets me.
All right, guys, I got to wrap things up here. My goal was to be on here for an hour. We're like an hour and 40 minutes. All right, so let's do a couple of shout-outs. Pete, thank you for being here. You're always here with me on Sundays.
At least I tried to be.
Yeah, you're always here. Thank you, man. Big shout-out to Ronaldo. Give him again your YouTube channel. Let him know.
I'm definitely, if you can make me a regular Sneed, man, I'll definitely take some time out, man, and I'll come every Sunday.
Sure, man. We'll pop you in every so often whenever you're available and stuff. You're a friend of the show. You're a friend of the channel. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So Ronaldo can be found on YouTube. He's got a channel. He makes videos on tech. Does a lot of hardware review, smartphones, cases. He does informative videos with updates and news in wireless as well, and smartphones. He's a friend of mine. He's a friend of the show's. I see him all over the tech space.
Man.
A supporter of the YouTube creator community.
So the SteamYard chat, you didn't capitalize your L. If you capitalized that L, I would have been De Leon.
There it is. There's the link to the channel. Check it out, guys. I'd love to see a huge influx of the SMT Nation work their way over to Ronaldo's
I'm almost
channel.
at 200 subscribers, man. That's my goal for.
Je suis un francophone.
Merci beaucoup.
The name, that's not even my real last name, but that last name, if you really are into fighting games, if you can figure out the first name to that last name, you got my respect.
I'll get back to you next week.
Very popular fighting game.
I probably have that
from Street Fighter?
Game.
Nope, from Namco.
From where?
Namco.
Oh.
I do have that game.
All right, guys. I think we'll wrap it up.
You'll have to tune in next week to figure out which game it is.
All right, guys.
Until then.
Thank you guys for being here. Like the video. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
All right. Peace.